Alright, another day at the gym. Let's do this.
Let's catch up with Nicholas Garfias.
My name is Nicholas Garfias, and I do artistic gymnastics. I'm going to walk you through my trainings and show you my ups, my downs, my struggles, and show you how I overcome them. I train 4 to 5 hours per day, 6 days a week. I would dedicate the first 20 to 30 minutes of my training to stretching, rolling, rehabilitation exercises, and injury prevention exercises. From there, I would do a warm-up conditioning, and today was a core sequence for my abdomen, back, and my sides. Then we would go into push-ups, just a few, not too many, followed by some box jumps, as well as a 2-minute handstand hold against the wall and a 1-minute handstand hold on the rings. After that, we went into pommel horse. Starting the first event, I have to put an icy hot spray as well as lots of tape and wrist supports. This helps me do the pommel horse with the least amount of pain as possible, but there is still quite a bit of pain. So I only do a few more turns of warm-up before I decide to switch to the next event. Next, I'm going rings. The point of today is really just to do basics, as I have been away for a little over a week and just got back from a 48-hour flight. So I'm mainly just stretching out my shoulders, feeling my body, and slowly getting back into the flow of it. Next, I'm gonna go P-bars. I'm doing swings here, and I am noticing a little bit of achiness in my wrists and elbows, but that is okay. That's to be expected from taking a bit of time off. I need my body to readjust to all of the pounding again. I only do a few more turns of basic swings before I decide to switch to the next event. My goal of today is really just to touch as many events as I can. Next, I'm going to the high bar. This event can be my favorite some days, and some days it is my least favorite. It is definitely the event that is the scariest for me. Now I'm just doing my basic warm-up sequence, which I usually do every day. There are some days that I will do this sequence, but with weights on my wrists and ankles. I find that helps me a lot with grip strength. I do a few turns of the basic warm-up before I decide to call it a day and stretch. Today was a particularly short day. We're just gonna ignore that I don't have my splits all the way down. I promise I'll get them back soon. Then we go home and rest, because the next day we're actually flying to Florida, where I'm gonna have a 2-week training camp to prepare for the Peruvian Nationals. My coach is actually from Florida, and he's opened up his own gym. So after 24 hours of flying, we go straight from the airport to the gym. We start off with some trampoline just to get that orientation back. I'm not feeling super great, so we're just gonna take it easy today and just do lots of basics like how we did on Monday. As I'm new to vlogging, my coach is wondering what on earth I'm doing, so he wanted to say hello to the camera. After doing a couple basic sequences on the high bar, I asked my coach to throw in the mat for me as I'm going to attempt a kovac. A kovac is when you let go of the bar, do a double backflip, and supposedly you're supposed to catch the bar again. However, I go flying. From there, we decide to go to the rings. Here, I'm just going to keep it simple, short, just do a couple turns, stretch out those shoulders. My orientation isn't feeling super great. I'm still feeling a little bit dizzy from the travel, so my handstands aren't super good. After rings, we did a quick stretch and got ready for the next day. Once we had finished with our warm-up conditioning, we started on the P-bars. We're still just working on recovering the skills in our routine. Did a few basic skills and then tried some dismounts. I definitely struggle a lot with this dismount. Sometimes it doesn't feel super good on my wrists. But when I do get it, I'm pretty happy. From there, we went to the high bar. Starting off with our warm-up sequence. Making sure we get a good stretch on our shoulders. And then we moved on to our release skills. This is when we let go of the bar, do a flip, and catch the bar again. Definitely the hardest part in my routine. It's very important to get the timing correctly, or else it could go too far from the bar or too close. After having done the releases, I was pretty tired, so we went onto the floor. Right now we're recovering the tumble passes in my floor routine, so we're just doing each pass a couple times. After that, we move on to the pommel horse. However, there's quite a bit of pain in my wrist, so I just tried sticking with a few basic circles. Seeing how that wasn't really working out too well, I just decided to ice for the rest of the day. Today we started on the rings. Of course, after having finished our rehabilitation exercises and warm-up conditioning. Here we're mainly just working on a basic first half of my routine, as well as a basic version of the second half. Once we had done a couple turns of the first and second half, we went into a few of the strength skills. We then decided to go to vault. Today we are working on vault with stacked mats. This really helps with learning how to push off of the table at the right time. From there we move on to the parallel bars. However, my wrists aren't feeling super good on this event today. So I tried doing a few basic dismounts onto stacked mats. Lastly, we're going to move on to the high bar. Today we are working on the other skills in my routine that weren't releases, trying to make sure that they are clean and consistent. Once we finished with those, we did a stretch and called it a day. On a normal day, we would also do conditioning at the end of training, but since we are preparing for a competition, we're trying to keep it light. Starting today off is of course warm-up conditioning as we do every day, and then straight to the first event. I do this event a lot, mainly because it is the lightest on my body, but it is also my best event. Even though this event stresses me out the most, I try and loosen up during training by listening to the music. I find that really helps me. However, dancing is not really my thing, so we can skip over that. After working on a few German giant sequences, we go into releases. And today I had a little bit of a slip on the bar, but I was completely okay. I did scare my coach quite a bit though. So for the next turn, I just made sure to hold on tight to the bar. After doing a few releases, we go straight into dismounts. From the high bar, we go on to the rings. Today, we are just trying to put some skills together from my routine to build up that endurance. After rings, we go to vault, and today we're trying out with the mini tramp. This is to learn how to block and push off of the vault table harder. The last event of today was pommel horse, however, my wrists were not holding up. I decided to not push through it too hard, so we just went on to trampoline to work on our spatial awareness. In the end, this was a pretty successful first week back into training. We made a lot of progress in recovering the skills of my routines. Now next week is just focusing on putting them all together and get as competition ready as we can. However, we have to make sure to take it step by step to prevent any injuries. Time to recover over the weekend and get ready for next week's training.